My boyfriend woke me up at 2 a.m. to make him dinner. Plus some more petty relationship drama. I am never dating again. No advice needed, just want to vent. Vent, baby girl. I'm here to listen. So I became official with this guy a couple of months ago. He was sweet, kind, funny, gorgeous, the usual stuff. Everything was fine. We'd stay at each other's places, have date nights, general relationship stuff. In short, no red flags. A couple beige ones here and there, but everyone has those. Then came the other night. He's currently having to pick up the slack at his job due to multiple people quitting. We decided to spend the weekend at my place as his roommates can be quite loud, and he needed to concentrate on fixing a system at his job so he can remotely work. Friday is fine, we stay in, and in between working, we do the usual couple stuff. Saturday comes and something has gone wrong, and the stress doubled.
Uh-oh. I think we're in trouble.
So he isn't eating anything I make, which is fine. I simply remind him that there are leftovers in the fridge. By 11 p.m., he's still working, so I head to bed. Then I was startled awake at 2 a.m. by him shaking me, telling me he's hungry now. What part of there are leftovers in the fridge do you not understand? Confused, I remind him about the leftovers and turn over to go back to sleep, but he gets grumpy and tells me I need to make him something fresh. I'm honestly completely confused and so sleepy while he rattles on about coconut shrimp or something. Oh, no way. Okay, so he wanted like breaded shrimp? Has anybody ever heard of Uber Eats? Still half asleep, I just stare at him as I try to work out what the F is happening. I'm guessing my silence pissed him off as he started having a go at me for not, quote,
doing my duty as his girlfriend.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like wifey responsibilities without the wifey ring. And even then, you gotta be delulu as fuck to wake up your wife in the middle of the night to ask her to make you dinner. Jail. Immediately jail. That woke me up fully, and I told him to get out of my house. His attitude changed then, and he was apologizing, but I repeated myself, and eventually he left the room. I followed him, picked up his stuff, put it into a bag, and once again told him to get out. He looked like a deer in headlights. He kept trying to say sorry and hug me, and it was only when I threw his car keys into his arm that he realized I was serious, and he left. This was Sunday morning, it is now Monday night, and I still refuse to speak to him. He's tried calling and texting, but I am honestly just annoyed and dumbfounded. I know I'll have to speak to him at some point, but I don't want to. He's an idiot. If and when I do speak to him, I'll update. For now, I'm going to bed. The sheer audacity. Like, I can understand if you're stressed out because of work, but what part of your girlfriend is sleeping? She already made you a home-cooked meal and put it in the fridge for you that you just have to heat up. Do you not understand? I don't know about you guys, but there are a few times in life where I am, let's use the word, no, let's just go ahead and say it, bitchy. I'm a pretty cheerful person. Some might even say I'm fun and lighthearted and optimistic. But if I get woken up, even if my dog wakes me up, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there for that, okay? I have few expectations in life. And trust me, I know that when I have kids, this is going to be a problem. I know it's a problem, and I'm scared, legitimately scared, because my anxiety peaks when I haven't slept well. Heads would roll if this happened to me. So we do have an update. Sneaky little update. Holy sweet jeebas, that's a lot of notifications. Thank you for your overwhelming support. Glad to know I'm not the only one who thinks this is stupid.
You are really dumb, for real.
Also, to the ones who said I should have just done it or agreed with the man-child, thank you, I needed a laugh today. I'm sorry, who the hell is saying that? That's an absolutely not from me. He came into my job to talk and explained that his friend saw a video of a woman being woken up to cook for her man, and they decided to test it out on their partners as a loyalty test.
You guys are f***ing out of your minds.
So my initial judgment of him being an idiot was correct. I beg your finest pardon, but that is not a loyalty test. That's like a "Are you my little bitch" test. This is not about loyalty, okay? This is about basic respect. He was surprised when I broke up with him, but he was calm and accepting, albeit sad. Either way, that's over with. To answer a few concerns. No, there are no mental health concerns. Yes, he's stressed, but it's surface stress. That'll be fine once his work hires some new people. Honestly, not my concern anymore. Someone mentioned unconditional love. The relationship was less than 3 months. Chill out. Chill out indeed. Unconditional love. Unconditional love. I'm sorry, but those two things do not relate. Not being willing to wake up in the middle of the night to make your spouse a fresh meal when he already has one in the fridge is so no. Like literally no. Anyone want to wager an over or under how many of his douchebag's friends are also now newly single? Honestly, it kind of reminds me of that like High Value Man podcast. Like, it's just, if your wife won't wake up in the middle of the night to make you dinner when you already have leftovers in the fridge, she's not a high value woman. Let's get it straight here. Not being willing to wake up in the middle of the night to make your partner a meal does not make you a low value woman. It makes you normal, and it makes him delusional.
This is delusional.
Any partner that does this sort of loyalty test immediately fails the not being a shit person test. That's not even loyalty. That's putting up with being massively disrespected. Someone isn't disloyal because they don't put up with crappy behavior. OOP's ex is either the kind of idiot that doesn't think things through or the kind of idiot that tried exerting some sort of control over OOP. But either way, their relationship status can be described the same way as the number of brain cells they have. Single. My fiance left me over a message. So this happened about 2 weeks ago. And by the way, this story is from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Me, female 26, and my fiance, male 25, I've changed some details for extra anonymity, have been dating for 5 years, engaged for 2, due to planning and financial situations. We were the unstoppable couple. Everyone always said that we had the perfect relationship and that our love makes them sick. We never had any big fights or arguments besides the usual debates about who is right, like the kind of answer you Google to see who was actually right. Zebras are white with black stripes kind of debate. We were perfect. He washed the dishes, I cooked him whatever his heart desired. We looked after and protected each other. I know I can be a very difficult person to deal with. I have bipolar 1, the kind where you have super strength. At 2 a.m. I'm a bit picky about certain things, like where my crafting supplies go and how my food is prepared, and how I feel my emotions. But besides all of this, I'm able to regulate and control my emotions very well, and it's never been a problem. I'm still able to have a normal and calm conversation. We've been planning our wedding for around 1.8 years, and we've recently been financially stable enough to start looking for a house or apartment together. I have a small business, and he works remotely, full-time. About 2 months before fucking is what I would call a breakup, I noticed a few things here and there that were weird, but nothing alarming. He would say his shoulder hurt when we cuddled. He cut and changed his hair and routines. Conversations were sometimes met with weirdness.
Hey, that was weird.
2 weeks before the fucking, we went on vacation with some friends. Everything seemed perfectly fine and normal. We had a great time. 1 week before Valentine's Day, he couldn't be with me on Valentine's Day due to work, but he took me out for brunch the next day. Nice plate, good food, and he even bought me chocolates and was all lovey-dovey as usual. The day after, I was recovering in bed. I had 3 wisdom teeth pulled. He wanted to speak to my parents about the dogs we both have together, Luna and Rex. They are my world. So the morning of the fucking, I decided to do my hair and makeup. I wanted to move my apartment around and deep clean and have everything ready for when he came home that evening. Apartment is next to my parents' place in the back of the yard. I sent him a good morning, have a great day, I love you kind of message. Later that morning, I received a notification from a courier company saying my package is on its way from my fiance. I thought it was a mistake and I tried calling him. No answer. He sent me a message about an hour later that, quote, he's
Breaking up with me. Thanks for our time together. You can keep the dogs.
No reasons, no explanation, nothing, just that. Also was removed from all social media, nothing more. So what the hell happened? In the courier bag was my gate remote, his ring, the dog's vaccination and vet cards, my medical emergency card, and an old nose ring I lost 3 years ago.
Ew.
Okay, well that's random. There's no explanation, nothing. Let's see if we can find some clues in the comments. He found someone else and was too much of a coward to come clean and handle things like a mature adult. I always find that when there's a change in behavior that's very random, you know, all of a sudden they're not responding to your texts the way that they normally would, or you can feel the energy has kind of shifted, they don't want to be as touchy with you anymore. Usually it's someone else. They started seeing someone else, or maybe they like someone else. It's never just out of nowhere. And like, I see a lot of people blaming her bipolar and all these other things. I really don't think it's that. I really genuinely believe that he cheated and left. He worked on Valentine's Day, got a new haircut and routines. He absolutely met someone new. And he doesn't want to admit that because if he did, he'd have to admit he cheated. Am I the butt face for telling my boyfriend to act more polite in a fancy restaurant? A bit of quick context. My boyfriend and I have been dating for a while, but we live in different cities. We need to pay for the train and bus to visit. This past visit, my boyfriend was really insistent we go to an extra fancy restaurant for a date. This was something we'd discussed before, but we weren't able to afford at the time, and we put it off.
We're broke.
I found a super nice place. I asked him to check it out, then booked a reservation when he said he liked it. Day of, my boyfriend's train arrived late, so we didn't have time to go home before our date. This meant my boyfriend had to bring his bag, a backpack of clothes and essentials he didn't have at mine, into the restaurant. The place was packed when we got there. We were seated and started chatting. My boyfriend started to tell a story about a coworker he disliked. He then started raising his voice and was very loudly cursing, calling his coworker a rider or a bitch. You get the point. I noticed others stopping their conversation and looking at us. Oh, absolutely not. Oh, embarrassing. People really do be just very comfortable swearing now, eh? You know, I have this very cute neighbor that like, he's such a sweet man. He's so cute. He like picks up our packages and like mows our lawn when we're away. The best. Don't worry, we brought him souvenirs. But yeah, no, sometimes when we're having chats on the front porch, he'll be like talking about something that happened. He's like, yeah, you know, this thing happened where someone just, and he'll get really close and he'll be like, this fucker vandalized our garage. Pardon my French. And he was just so like we weren't in a fancy restaurant or anything. Like we were just like on the front porch. But even then, he gets very, very close and he's quiet about it.
Keep it down.
So polite, so demure, so demure. Be more like my neighbor. And this coming from someone who swears like a sailor, okay? I asked him if he could lower his voice and avoid swearing because we were in an expensive and busy place. He said, I don't care what other people think about me. I explained that I actually did care a bit, and I felt like we should shift the convo for now. He apologized and changed the subject. But eventually, each conversation turned into him loudly swearing, talking about intimate things or personal stuff. I asked to change the subject around 4 times until he got offended. Well, you should have just kept demure the first time if you didn't want to get offended. Have some gosh darn manners. This is a nice place. Then he mumbled about wanting to get something. He took his bag out from the corner we'd tucked it in and started unpacking everything. Oh, absolutely not. Oh my. He put clothes, socks, toiletries on the table that we were eating on. I'm sorry, but how are you not embarrassed? How are you not embarrassed? Socks on the table.
Nasty!
Not demure, not mindful. Not demure, not mindful. Not demure, not mindful.
Not demure, not mindful.
Not mindful. Not mindful. Not mindful. I panicked. I started asking him to stop or to take the bag to the bathroom if he needed to unpack. He insisted again that nobody cared but me, but repacked anyways. The breaking point was when the waiter came back with drink refills and he said he could make things fun again. He unzipped the front of his bag and pulled out vodka. Oh, is he an animal? Dude, the crazy thing is that he's the one that insisted on going to a nice place, okay? This is some McDonald's behavior, not a fancy restaurant. I freaked out. I told him to put it away, asking why in the world he would do that. If the restaurant didn't want to kick him out before, now they would definitely kick him out. You definitely cannot bring your own liquor into a fancy restaurant. He was so confused, so I told him that a lot of places don't allow you to bring your own liquor and they'll charge you a huge fee or kick you out. He insisted again that nobody cared and to just ignore him and he'd use it for all his own drinks.
Stop it. Get some help.
I got upset and said there was no way I'd babysit him drunk or get charged. The rest of the meal was awkward and quiet after that. Afterwards, my boyfriend said I made him feel stupid. Well, then don't act stupid. And I was scolding him like a baby. Then don't act like a baby, act like a grown man. Has he never been to a fancy restaurant before? Like never? There's a time and a place for debauchery. I love some debauchery. It is certainly not at a fancy, expensive restaurant. He said it was obvious I felt embarrassed by him. I mean, if the shoe fits. Essentially, this thing we'd wanted for so long, I had ruined. Oh, this is gaslighting. Oh, this is gaslighting. No. I feel horrible that I hurt his feelings. I'm worried I was a total a-hole and that I really did ruin our plan. I'm torn because I still think you're supposed to be more polite in places like that, but I don't want to assume I'm right and need some outside perspective. Dude, if anyone ruined this evening, it was your boyfriend, not you. It would be a small thing, but it's not a small thing because he gaslit you. The being kind of rude and unaware in a restaurant, that's one thing. But gaslighting you and making you feel bad for expecting like some decorum from him, that's what makes it a big thing.
Why did you do this? You know better, right? Why?
So are you the butt face for telling your boyfriend to act more polite in a fancy restaurant? No, you're absolutely not. And like, honestly, if you want to be able to go to like fancy restaurants and like nice places, you need to consider the fact that this is not the guy that you can go there with. So I'll just leave it at that. My 26 male girlfriend, 25 female, is threatening to break up with me if I don't kick my sister out.
This is too stressful.
A month ago, my younger sister, 13, moved in with us. Our mom has been a drunk my whole life, but she's always been a functioning alcoholic until now. My sister called me crying a month ago and said our mom let this dude move in and he was being creepy toward my sis. Oh, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear. So I drove down and my mom agreed that my sister should go live with me. We didn't think like maybe the guy that you're dating should like leave. We're not like choosing our own flesh and blood over some creepy man. Got it. I didn't ask my girlfriend for permission. Why would we do that? That seems like a no-brainer. My sister needed help, so it was a no-brainer. I mean, it might be a no-brainer to you, but like sharing a living space with a 16-year-old girl is definitely something that you need to discuss first with your girlfriend. Ever since she moved in, my girlfriend has been complaining nonstop that I'm spending too much time with her, that I'm not spending enough time with my girlfriend, that I'm spending too much money on my sister, and so on. And now she told me she'll dump me if I don't kick out my sister, that I'm not her father and I shouldn't have let her move in at all. We've been together 5 years and I honestly have never seen her act this way. I'm obviously not going to kick my sister out, but I just don't know how to fix things with my girlfriend.
I am in a pickle.
Okay. I mean, listen, you did your sister a solid. Like, I would also help, like, a friend or a sibling out of a situation like that. But, like, are we, like, actually spending too much time with our sister and spending a ton of money on her?
Dang it, Bobby, that's exactly what we don't want.
I don't know. I feel conflicted about this one. I feel like this is not, like, breakup worthy. I would say, like, just internalize what your girlfriend is saying and try to balance out the time that you're spending with your girlfriend and also your sister. And then if she's just being weird about it, I mean, she also does have a right to not want to live with your sister. It's a fact. You know, for a short period of time, it's fine to help somebody out. I know she's 16, but at the same time, it's like she didn't sign up for that, okay? And there's nobody that's necessarily wrong in this scenario. I just feel like if she's not willing to live with you and your sister, then maybe you guys aren't right together.
Hard truths cut both ways.
So we do have an update. Since I posted my original post, quite a few people have messaged asking for an update. So here it is. After my post, I had a long conversation with my girlfriend regarding us, my sister, and our future. And she essentially told me she doesn't want to be with me if it means she has to live with my sister. And quite honestly, I feel like she has the right to feel that way, you know?
No, it's not fair.
I understand that your sister was in a crappy situation, especially if it's like a small space. I wouldn't want to live with someone. You also didn't ask for permission. I don't know if I would want to live with an additional person. You know? That she didn't sign up to live with a teenager and I should send my sister back. I told her that wasn't a possibility. I mean, she's also kind of being a little unreasonable too by expecting you to send your sister back.
Somebody had to go.
Like, she's not gonna go back to that environment. So the next day she moved out. Honestly, it's probably for the best. Like, she has a right to not want to live with your sister, but you also have a right to protect your sister from a crappy situation. There's still a ton of her stuff that she'll pick up when she rents something of her own. On my original post, many people said I should have discussed my sister moving in before she did, and maybe I should have, but my sister called me crying. So on that same night, I got in the car and drove 400 miles to pick her up. As much as I love my girlfriend, now ex, my sister always comes first.
Aw, that's sweet.
Also, if you have asked how long my sister will stay with me, and honestly, I don't know. Most likely till she's an adult, unless our mom gets her life back on track. And there was some additional context that I felt was important. OP said, I own the apartment, I pay the mortgage and all the bills. The only thing we split was the groceries. Okay, so yeah, I feel like you wanted to help your sister out of a crappy situation. You have every right to do that. But also, your girlfriend has a right to not want to live with your sister. She didn't sign up for that. But it doesn't mean that anyone's necessarily wrong in this situation. It just seems like bad timing.
The timing couldn't be worse, actually.
I actually really respect you for helping your sister out of a very potentially dangerous situation. And you had every right to do what you did. Subscribe!